Number 2. In truth, the agency has a widespread positive effect on society by serving as a catalyst for innovation and scientific understanding, to create jobs and showing humanity its place within the universe. A, no change, is the best answer, because the noun effect is needed in the sentence to provide a direct object for the verb has. Furthermore, the article a indicates that a noun will follow. You would only use affect with an a if it was a verb. Number 3, same sentence. This time, to create jobs is underlined. B is the best answer, creating jobs. We're trying to create parallel structure. Earlier in the sentence they use the verb serving, and later they use showing. So creating fits. Number 4, but by initiating and collaborating on projects such as the Apollo Moon mission, the Space Shuttle program, the Hubble Space Telescope, and unmanned planetary exploration, NASA has continually challenged its scientists and engineers to do things that were previously thought impossible. A, no change, is correct. The comma between telescope and the conjunction and correctly separates the series of projects listed in the sentence. Number 7. A short list of inventions elaborated by NASA includes communication satellites, invisible braces, and cordless tools. All these inventions spawns new industries, and with those industries, jobs. Choice B is correct. The past tense verb spawned is consistent with the other past tense verbs in the paragraph, such as elaborated. Number 8. A report by the Space Foundation estimated that NASA contributed $180 billion to the economy in 2005. More than 60% of the contribution coming from commercial goods and services created by companies using space-related technology. Choice D is correct. The contribution of money occurred in 2005, so the simple past tense verb came makes the most sense in the sentence. It also acts as a main verb, which creates a complete sentence. Number 12, new theories, new practices too, and technologies are transforming the 21st century workplace at lightning speed. D, practices, is the best answer. It is clear and concise and provides parallel structure in the sentence. This choice eliminates unnecessary words. We already stated new when we listed theories, so we don't need to say new again. We don't need the word to, since we are listing items that is implied. And finally, all 3 items in this series are equally important. Number 13, to perform their job successfully in this dynamic environment, workers in many fields, from social services to manufacturing, must continually acquire relevant knowledge and update key skills. C is the best answer. A pair of commas is needed to set off the phrase, from social services to manufacturing, to indicate that this information is explanatory, but not crucial for understanding the sentence. Since we have a comma at the end, we want a comma at the beginning. We could have used 2 dashes, but the one that we can change is here. The comma is already locked in. Number 16, if employees find themselves falling behind in the workplace, these critics contend, then it is the duty of those employees to identify and even pay for appropriate resources to show them how and why they are falling behind and what they should do about it. D is the correct answer. A comma is needed between the dependent and independent clauses in order to create one sentence. The introductory conditional dependent clause, beginning with if, cannot stand alone and needs to be separated from the independent clause by a comma. Number 19. The most common forms of professional development provided to employees includes coaching, mentoring, technical assistance, and workshops. Choice B, include, is the best answer. Include is a plural present tense verb that agrees in number with the plural noun forms and the other present tense verbs in the paragraph. 22. Employers can also identify which employees have successfully completed instructional modules and which need to be offered additional training. C, without the comma, is the best answer. No punctuation is needed between the main verb, can identify, and the clause that begins with which and functions as the object of the verb. 24. To counter the rise of fast food and fast life, a cohort of chefs, journalists, and sociologists spearheaded the slow food movement, declaring loyalty to unhurried enjoyment. A, no change, is the best answer. A comma is needed after life to separate the introductory infinitive phrase beginning with to counter from the independent main clause of the sentence beginning with a cohort. Number 26. From its beginning, the movement had opposed the standardization of taste that fast food chains promote. D. Has opposed, rather than had, is correct. The auxiliary verb has correctly indicates that the slow food movement's opposition to fast food standardization of taste is ongoing. It's not just in the past tense. 27. A goat ingests the vegetation particular to the meadow in which it grazes, which, along with other environmental factors such as altitude and weather, shapes the cheese's taste and texture. B is the best answer. The comma, which is necessary to set off information that may be informative but is not necessary for understanding the sentence, is placed correctly after the noun factors and after the noun weather. So that was the phrase such as altitude and weather. It's an apositive or a non-restrictive clause. 29. During their early years, the movement also focused on the value of spending lots of time with friends and family during long meals. C is the best answer. It's. The singular possessive pronoun its refers correctly to the singular noun movement. We needed singular and possessive. Remember that choice D is to the contraction it is. That's why it's wrong. 32. Critics have also asked if growing food using traditional methods, as opposed to mass production, can adequately and affordably feed the world. Choice C, using a period rather than a question mark, is the correct answer. The sentence contains an indirect question which does not take a question mark. 34. The next day, a front-page headline in the New York Times declared, "Radio listeners in panic, taking war drama as fact." A, no change, is the best answer. The comma is placed correctly after declared to set off the headline that follows. 36. This version of events persisted, and the legend became that Wells' broadcast had as many as 12 million people who feared that Martians had invaded Earth. C, fearing, is the best answer. The participle fearing clearly describes the people who thought that Martians had invaded Earth, and places the focus on fear. 37. Recently, however, scholars have questioned the accuracy of this legend, suggesting the degree of public hysteria has been grossly exaggerated. The authors of an article published in October 2013 go so far to assign blame for the distortion to the newspaper industry. D, so far as, is the correct answer. Go so far as to is an idiomatic expression meaning proceed to the point of doing something. A, B, and C are incorrect because they are not idiomatic or common to the English language. 41. Ratings, however, reveal that far fewer than 1 million people had been listening to the broadcast. A, no change, is the best answer. Fewer is an adjective that is used with things that can be counted, and therefore is used correctly in this sentence to describe people. Far is an adverb that describes the adjective fewer, and is used to indicate the extent to which the number of people listening to the broadcast differed from 1 million. 43. Pooley and Sicolo describe a more likely scenario. Most people who heard the broadcast understood they were listening to a piece of fiction, but some, being influenced by the sensationalized news coverage afterward, later remembered being more afraid than they had been. C, with the comma after some, is correct. The pronoun some is used correctly as the subject of the independent clause. The comma after some is needed to set off the non-restrictive clause, influenced by the sensationalized news coverage afterward that follows it. So this part here in the brackets had to be set apart by commas.